Today, I'm here to answer the most common questions we get on the Relocating to Raleigh Facebook and Instagram pages. I'm Alison Wojnarowski with the W Real Estate Group, and let's get right into it. So the first group of questions are going to pertain to wildlife. Number 1, what animals do we have? Raleigh doesn't have the most exotic animals. The most common animals that we see around here are deer, squirrels, some raccoons, rabbits, and opossums, and you're going to see some snakes. As far as bugs go, we have the typical bees, wasps, and yellow jackets, and you'll need to watch out for the fire ant hills. Also, mosquitoes can be a pain, especially when it's warm and humid outside. And if you live near the woods, you're going to see cockroaches, so you'll want to get your house sprayed by an exterminator. Every once in a while, you'll hear about a smaller black bear, but that's usually on the edge of Raleigh suburbs. And you'll also hear about coyotes and wolves, but it's not something to be worried about. The number 2 most common question is, are there snakes? And I get asked this a lot. Yes, we do have snakes. The most common snakes that we have are the black rat snakes. They're pretty big, but they're not poisonous, and they're not aggressive from what I've heard. You will want to watch out for copperheads if you live closer to water, and you'll also want to watch out for them if you live in a not well-maintained yard with a lot of leaves or brush left behind, as they like to hang around and hide in those places. I will say I've lived here my whole life, and I've only seen a handful of snakes, and I grew up in a house here with woods directly behind it. You will find that snakes are more common to be seen in newly constructed developments as their natural habitat is being disturbed and they don't know where to go. If you really like to walk or hike, you will probably see snakes on the trails. But one thing to note is that they're not going to hurt you if you don't disturb them. Now moving to topics related to weather. Does Raleigh get tornadoes? Okay, so I did a little research on this to get some data, but the last tornado that really affected us was back in 2011. We did have a tornado run from the southern portion of the city and through downtown, and then it continued northeast through town. It varied between an F1 and an F2 in strength, and it damaged quite a few homes. Sadly, 4 people lost their lives. Prior to that, the last real tornado in the Raleigh area to do damage was back in November of 1988. An F4 tornado touched down near Umstead Park on Glenwood Avenue, and it maintained its intensity for nearly 2 hours over 80 miles. It was over 400 yards at its peak, and it flattened the Kmart, now the Walmart, in Pleasant Valley. Unfortunately, 4 people passed away and 154 more people were injured. But while I talk about these 2 instances, this is all we've really had in the last 30 years. Next question, how bad do hurricanes impact Raleigh? North Carolinians are all watching the Weather Channel in the late summer and the early fall. Some years we don't get any hurricanes, and other times we get several. The areas around Greenville to the coast are the most impacted by hurricanes. The wind can certainly cause issues, but flooding has always been an issue near the coast for us due to the low-lying areas. In regards to Raleigh, it's really rare that we experience hurricane-force winds. We usually feel the winds of a tropical storm to a tropical depression, which is less than 75 miles per hour. For most of the hurricanes at the coast, I would say we usually have sustained winds around 30 to 40 miles per hour and gusts of up to 50 and maybe 60 miles per hour on more extreme events. Any damage that is felt here usually comes from all of the rain softening up the ground and the trees falling on power lines and houses, but it's usually not too widespread when the hurricanes stay near the coast. The last hurricane to really hit and damage Raleigh was Hurricane Fran back in 1996. It was a Category 3 hurricane when it hit the coast, and it was a weak Category 1 to a tropical storm as it passed over Raleigh. The RDU airport recorded its highest wind gust of 79 miles per hour. There were tons of trees down, flooding, power was out for a week, and North Carolina did lose 24 people to the storm. But we haven't had any tropical weather come close to what Hurricane Fran did since 1996, so significant impacts in Raleigh are still very rare. Moving on, does it rain a lot in Raleigh? I personally don't think so. We certainly have our rainy periods and our droughts as well, but we have really nice sunny days more often than not. If you look at the numbers, Raleigh gets 46 inches of rain per year on average, while the US average is 38 inches of rain. But we have more sunny days than the US average, 213 versus 205. Another thing to note is if you don't like snow, Raleigh only gets 4 inches of snow per year versus the US average of 28. Next question is, why is there so much dead grass? I get this question a lot. Raleigh's climate supports a variety of different grasses, and the predominant grass is still fescue, which stays green all year round. But most new construction homes especially have been using warm season grasses like Bermuda, which actually go dormant in the winter and they turn brown. It greens right back up again in the spring and it makes for a beautiful lawn, but most people think that homeowners don't take care of their grass and they let it die. The Bermuda grass has become very popular because it's very drought resistant and it stands up to foot traffic really well. You'll find that in the middle of summer when it's super hot, Bermuda grass is still green and it looks beautiful. I hope this video was helpful, and remember to let us know what your thoughts and experiences are in the comments below. If you need any real estate assistance, please don't hesitate to reach out, as we would love to help you. I'm Alison Wojnarowski, and thank you for watching. We'll see you in the next video.